Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a massive evolution happening right now in the workplace. We're going to break down exactly how the convergence of advanced tech, strict ethical frameworks, and strategic foresight is completely, totally transforming HR project management. Now, to kick things off, I've got to ask you a pretty provocative question. Is an AI about to take over your project management duties? Well, don't worry, it's not going to start sending you passive-aggressive follow-up emails just yet. But we aren't just talking about a basic tool that schedules meetings or screens out a few resumes. We're looking at a future where AI acts as a true predictive partner in managing human capital. So, let's dive into our first major shift, moving from support to strategy.
We're talking about an overarching paradigm shift here. The old school view of HR as just this basic support function, bogged down by endless manual administration, yet that's completely gone. The new HR is a vital, strategic driver of the entire organization's success. Leaders are actively leaving behind those tedious manual tasks to instead guide their companies through incredibly complex workforce challenges. And they're doing it by leveraging and interpreting deep AI insights.
Because in this context, AI is absolutely no longer just a fancy calculator or a static database. It's stepping into the role of a predictive partner that actually helps you envision the future. Think about it. Instead of scrambling at the last minute to replace a key player after they suddenly quit, this system allows leadership to strategically shape the workforce. You can address burnout or spot hidden skill gaps before they even become a real problem. It's a total game changer.
Okay, let's move on to the actual tech making this happen, generative and predictive AI.
Generative AI acts as a massive creative engine for human resources. It isn't just crunching numbers, it's creating entirely new assets on the fly. Practically speaking, this means the AI can instantaneously design personalized learning content based on an individual employee's specific skill gaps. It can build highly realistic interview scenarios for training and dynamically map out highly tailored career trajectories to keep your people engaged and growing. It's literally like having a dedicated career coach for every single employee.
But to truly look ahead, we have to understand predictive workforce ecosystems. And this is where things get incredibly powerful. By synthesizing your internal HR analytics, things like turnover rates or internal skill assessments, with external market data, the system essentially creates a predictive radar for your specific industry. It's practically a crystal ball.
So what do you actually do with that predictive radar? Well, you act on it proactively. Imagine knowing for a fact that a specific technical skill is going to see a massive market shortage in 2 years. With this predictive partner, HR leaders can adapt their hiring and internal training strategies long before an industry shift even happens. You're keeping the organization 1, if not 2, steps ahead of the competition. But technology without guardrails is just chaos, right? Which brings us to ethics and culture mapping. Now, before we even touch the ethics of the data, let's talk about the data itself. Company culture is notoriously difficult to quantify. We usually treat it as a feeling or a vibe, so we really have to ask, how do you actually measure and visualize company culture in real time objectively?
Well, AI acts as a sort of cultural X-ray. By taking raw data sources, like sentiment analysis and anonymized behavioral patterns in team communication, the AI translates all that noise into tangible insights. It clearly reveals a company's hidden cultural strengths and, honestly, just as importantly, its cultural weaknesses. This allows HR to step in and address toxic trends way before they lead to mass turnover.
Of course, the moment you start tapping into employee behavioral data, red flags go up. And they should. That's exactly why none of this works without strict ethical AI governance. This framework relies on mandatory transparency, strict fairness, and crystal clear accountability. A truly strategic HR leader absolutely must actively address concerns about algorithmic bias and aggressively protect employee privacy. Because without this ethical foundation, the entire predictive ecosystem just collapses from a lack of trust. But when you do get it right, the payoff is huge. Because you're getting real-time insights into employee sentiment and market shifts, securely backed by a strong ethical foundation, your HR initiatives no longer have to be these rigid, year-long plans. Instead, you can utilize adaptive project frameworks. You're basically reconfiguring initiatives on the fly and pivoting your strategy in real time based on actual evolving employee needs.
Let's move to our final section and see how this all comes together, the human-AI convergence.
This convergence is the absolute heart of the transformation. Human-AI collaboration models are fundamentally redefining what an HR role actually is. We are elevating professionals from being administrators of manual processes, pushing paper and managing spreadsheets, to being highly strategic interpreters. The AI crunches the massive datasets, sure, but the human applies the empathy, the context, and the strategic vision to make the final call. By orchestrating all these tools behind the scenes, AI effectively becomes the visionary project manager of HR. It handles the scheduling, the data gathering, the trend spotting, the whole shebang. And this frees up the human HR team to ensure that the future of work is efficient, fair, inclusive, and perfectly aligned with the company's long-term strategic goals.
And it all points to one ultimate takeaway from our sources: technology and humanity converge to create resilient, adaptive organizations. This whole evolution, it's absolutely not about AI firing the HR department. The AI provides the speed and the predictive foresight, while humans provide the ethical direction and strategic interpretation. Together, they build a wildly resilient organization.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final thought to ponder as you look at your own career and your own organization. The technology is here, the frameworks are being built as we speak, and the paradigm has already shifted. The only question left is, are you prepared to leave manual administration behind, embrace these new predictive tools, and step confidently into your powerful new role as an AI insight interpreter?